Hi, everybody. Welcome to, this is exciting, the first episode of our new show, Trek Reluctantly. And I am joined, as you saw a moment ago, and we just faded in, by the absolutely fabulous Dana Cole. Hi, Dana. As David Colby in the chat says, hi, Steve, and not Steve.
I'm honored to be not Steve.
Oh, boy, I don't know how to take that. I will assume you don't mean that as an insult, but I mean, you could,
It could go either way.
It could go either way. So, okay, for everybody who is watching us live or is watching us in the archived version, because this works either way,
Sure.
what we're going to do is we're going to be watching the first half of the first episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And the way that's going to work is because we do not have permission from CBS to stream the actual episode on the air, everybody's going to have to watch it on your end. So whether you're watching it on Netflix or Hulu or CBS All Access or on a DVD or wherever you have the episode, wherever you usually go to watch your Star Trek, go there now, if you haven't already, and queue up the first episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, episode 1, season 1, Emissary, and just pause it at 0000.
And if you came here hoping to watch Star Trek Season 1, Episode 1, Emissary, Part 1, we're very sorry, but you're not going to get to. You're going to get to see our faces making faces at whatever we're watching, which you won't get to see.
Exactly.
At all.
This will go a lot better.
At the screen, and then we'll talk about what you didn't get to see.
Exactly. This will be a lot more entertaining for everybody if you watch along with us. I guess you could just watch us, but I mean,
you probably have some people. There are probably some people on here who are just like, I know this.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
When Dana goes, you'll know like what part that is.
Exactly. I'm sure.
What part that is yet.
I'm sure. And also, yeah, people in the chat, like Kaylee Anderson just said Netflix has both parts in one ep. Yes.
That's what the pause button's for.
That is true. What we're going to do is we're going to watch, and I'll give you cues. Everybody
Don't
watching
worry,
along.
Show. I'll handle that.
Yeah. I'll give you cues. And we can, and so when we get to a certain point, it's a little bit past the halfway point is where we'll stop for part 1, and then next week we're actually going to watch an episode of Firefly, and then in 2 weeks we'll come back and we'll finish the first episode of Deep Space Nine, because that's how this is going to work. We're going to watch Deep Space Nine 1 week, and we're going to watch Firefly the next week. And then when we run out of Firefly episodes,
which won't take long.
We'll watch something else. But that's the idea. That's how it's going to work.
We saw that too many 580.
Yes, Michigan has, AP called Michigan for Biden. So, and that's another thing, because we're doing this live, and this is the night after election night. If Biden has enough states called to get over 270, we will talk about that during the stream, even if we're in the middle of the episode. But we're going to try to get through the Deep Space Nine episode at least first, and then, and then we'll,
So starting with the pilot, the same sort of setup next week. We'll do the first half of the Firefly actual pilot.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Because the Firefly pilot is a double episode too. So we'll do. Yeah.
You say that now, Craig, but I just we watched just the two of us. We watched what was the Dracula horror of Dracula?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh okay, that was well, I didn't hate it. That was the best I could do. So I really hope I don't let people down. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. Listen, here's the great thing about Dana, everybody. One of the many great things about Dana, and here's why this is going to be a fun show, is that Dana does not sugarcoat things, and
we'll true. I'm so nice about saying things that other people don't like. I'm really good at that.
Well, okay, you do sugarcoat things, but you don't, like, you give your true opinion. So if we watch this and you just genuinely don't dig it, you will say that, and that's completely fine. because we're all grown-ups, and we can, if someone doesn't like a thing we like, that's okay. Right? Everybody watching. If it turns out that someone doesn't like a thing we like, that's okay, right? But yeah, so okay, so hopefully everybody watching is all queued up and ready to go. Dana and I are queued up and ready to go. So what I'll do
0, 0, 0.
0, 0, 0, 0, and I will do a 3, 2, 1 play, and you push play when I say play, not on one, on play. And then also we're going to pause during commercial breaks just to talk a little bit. And I will cue you for that. I'll give you a 3, 2, 1 pause for that. So everybody watching will pause when I say pause. Okay?
Yeah, but part of what we're doing, David Colby says, skip Firefly and to start with Babylon 5. The thing is, I've seen Firefly and Steve
Right.
is not. And I'm pointing, this is actually where it's showing up in my Zoom. I don't know. It's probably just me on the screen. So I've seen Firefly and Steve is not, and Steve has seen DS9 and I have not. So we're sort of flip-flopping because then he knows what's coming up. And I'm just like, I know a little bit because we were like making sure the episode was queued up. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. I know that guy. I recognize that guy who we see early in the episode.
Space Dad.
No, not Space Dad.
Oh.
Before we see Space Dad. I think
Yeah.
Space Dad. Anyway, well, but I'm sure you all know. That's okay.
Well, yeah. The first person we see, yeah, you definitely recognize him.
Jeff C asks, are you giving us times when we unpause? So yeah, I think he's going to give you a time, but it may not all. We noticed that it wasn't the same. The numbers weren't always the same in different formats, whether it's Amazon Prime or DVD or something like that. So we'll also have a visual cue, like make sure you see thus and such on the screen. You'll be close enough to.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be exactly synced up, but we'll give you a cue so that you'll know. We'll be more or less in the same place. And actually,
I'm going to do my best not to say anything during the episode, like talk over it, because then I'll miss stuff and then not know what the heck is going on. So
right.
I mean, if you're a couple of seconds off, it really won't matter because we'll just pause, like a commercial break, and
and then we'll discuss.
Yay!
Okay, so everybody's ready. Dana, you ready?
Wait. I think. Am I ready? Yep, there it is. Okay, I have the little play button. You ready?
Okay, everybody get ready. 3, 2, 1.
Some random geek.
See, you screwed up the count already. I blame you for that, some random geek, because if you had not said that, Dana would not have reacted. Okay, everybody, for real now. Everybody at 0, 0, 0. And 3, 2, 1, play. Ready? 3, 2, 1, play.
Huh.
Wolf 359 was an inside job.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, he's taking a nap.
Kids can sleep through anything.
Boy.
Why are you talking to him? He's unconscious.
Dad, please. I haven't had a chance to sleep all day.
Just the Borg. Obviously you can.
It's such a great shot.
Nice fade too.
Yeah.
It's totally a me thing, Random Geek.
There will be a test. Are you a liar?
Those overalls, oh my god, that's terrible.
Yeah, it takes him a few years to get Jake's wardrobe straight.
All I paid though. Oh, he was actually wearing that?
Those weren't just holodeck clothes? Oh my god.
I guess they're space clothes. Space dad, space son.
Space
Apparently
clothes.
space fashion. Oh.
By the way, in the chat, Francis O'Rourke, yes, Deep Space Nine did premiere halfway through TNG's sixth season. Its first season was a mid-season replacement. Okay, we're gonna let the opening credits play, and then we'll pause after that to discuss the teaser.
Don't they have some where they have like costumes and stuff? Or do they like I guess they could replicate the costumes and then go to the holodeck? I don't know.
We've seen examples of both.
Okay.
We've seen like
you've
holodeck
seen both. Me?
We've seen, yeah, well, in the shows, we've seen like holodeck clothes that are purely like on the holodeck, and then we've seen them like wear real clothes, like real costumes that they replicated.
Yeah, Random Geek, but Wesley had a mom with him, so. It's just really interesting to watch the intro, and it's like the station, and I'm so much more used to now the intro having like clips from the show.
Right. But Star Trek shows have never really done that. I don't think there's ever been a Star Trek show that has had like clips from the show in the opening montage. It's always been like a montage of the ship, or with this just like beauty shots of the station.
Huh.
Yeah.
But I'm not entirely sure that I agree, because it's possible you could have effectively an overlay.
Okay, everybody. 3, 2, 1, pause.
Okay.
Okay, so Dana,
Yes.
that was the teaser. What'd you think of that? Thoughts so far? First impressions.
Well, first of all, I have very strong thoughts on the Borg in general.
Oh, please.
I think I've talked to you before about how I think the Borg would be much more interesting. I don't understand why they don't have emotions. I mean, that was just an authorial choice. And the fact that they chose to make them half organic or part organic, part machine is interesting. But the fact that they left sentience effectively out. They're sapient, but not sentient. And I've always disagreed with that choice. I understand that it makes them, I don't know. I think it makes them easier to villainize, which, they're the bad guys. So, but at the same time, as a creator and a consumer of media, I don't necessarily think that just because it's easy makes it a good story. I think it's a better story if the Borg, if they were more of a commune, that, resistance is futile, not because we are going to take you over, but because we are all in complete harmony with each other. We understand each other. There is no disagreement because we're able to connect on such a deep level. Why wouldn't you want that? And then you're just like, yeah, but I like my individual. And they're like, that's nice, honey. But you just don't understand what you're missing out on. And so there's this sense of inevitability, but they're so friendly. And you're like, okay, no. It complicates things in a way that I think would be really interesting. The opening crawl said that he was forced to attack End.
Right.
Was that in the movie?
That was in the Best of Both Worlds two-parter in TNG.
Right, yeah. So was it like an extended episode?
Yeah.
So he was absorbed into the Borg.
Yes.
And so
he was assimilated.
Yeah, he was assimilated, so forced in that sense, but not in the sense that it's, that it's Captain Picard. So,
right.
I put down reprogram, but yes, assimilated is the word that they would use.
Yes. Yes.
And then somebody in the chat mentioned civilians, why not get the civilians off the ship if you're going to freaking fight the Borg? Was Jennifer Cisco a civilian?
I think she was.
Okay.
I know she was definitely a civilian in the sense that she was not a member of Starfleet. I don't know if she had like a civilian job on the ship. I don't know if they ever really even talk about that at any point in the show. But she was not a member of Starfleet, no.
Okay.
And of course Jake is there. And I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, if both parents were, I could see them not wanting to just abandon their kid. Ha ha. It is obviously a huge risk, but at least, theoretically, if the entire ship blows up, they all die together. Of course, that's not
one big happy family.
Yep, or dead family, as the case may be.
Well, and yeah, true. Well, and also, I think the battle that we glimpsed in that first scene, the Battle of Wolf 359, was something that is supposed to have happened in relatively short order, where the Borg cube was on its way to Earth and the fleet had to sort of mass in a hurry to go and meet them. So you could, if you're looking for an excuse as to why they didn't evacuate the civilians from the ships, it could be, well, we just don't have time. Like wherever the nearby ships are, they have to converge on that point right away to attack the Borg, and there just wasn't time to offload the civilians. So. I wanted to ask you, did you have something else?
No, just that I don't like her name. I don't know. Jennifer, especially given when it originally aired, was just like a crazy popular name for but for a very limited time. Like, I haven't had a Jennifer in class for quite some time. And when I do, it's relatively rare. And it actually was it Labyrinth that brought it into vogue? But it came into fashion relatively late in the 20th century, and it's actually an offshoot of Guinevere. And so it just feels very much like we're in the 80s, maybe early 90s, because her name is Jennifer. I just it's not something that is, you know, a really timeless name like some of the other names of issues are. So it just really popped to me. It's like, by the way, here we are. It's a very common name. No, not anymore, kiddos.
Well, but by the late 24th century, apparently it will be again.
Maybe it will. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you one more thing, and then we'll unpause and continue with the show. But because I know you haven't seen a lot of Star Trek, but I know you've seen some TNG.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the main title theme, the music to this, compared to the TNG theme? Because it's very different.
I think it does a really good job of capturing what it's telling you the show is going to be about. Mm-hmm. The slow pace, the legato pacing of it, and the use of mostly horns. It gives it a very full sound, you know, very echoey. And so, you know, being on a space station in deep space, I think it reflects that very well. And I was watching in the credits. I was like, okay, so is this, you know, is it going to tell us who composed this? Because I want to know. Do you know
who composed the theme?
Yeah,
I think it was Dennis McCarthy, but I wasn't paying attention. But I think it was Dennis McCarthy, because he did a lot of I think he also did the theme for Star Trek Voyager, which also has a great theme song.
You know how I feel about this, Steve.
I love. We were talking earlier because we watched a couple minutes of a Voyager episode before we went on the air just to make sure we had everything squared away. And the pilot episode of Voyager is great, and the opening theme is great, and that's about it. But there are things about Voyager that I do really enjoy. The thing that I like about the Deep Space Nine theme is like the TNG theme, which was originally the Star Trek the Motion Picture theme. Very fast, very sort of energetic, very exciting. And, you know, the credits of TNG are just the Enterprise, like swooping by the camera. And it's very like energizing. It's like, yeah, get ready. It's going to be exciting. And Deep Space Nine is exactly the opposite. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's majestic and it's stately. And it definitely sends you the message that this will not be the same show.
Yeah.
You know, and there are a couple of other moments in this episode that I'm looking forward to talking with you about that send that message as well. Like from the very, very beginning, they say this will not be TNG Part 2. You know, this will be a different kind of show. So, okay, if everybody's ready, we can resume. Let's just leave a pause where we have it, because nothing has really happened yet. I mean, we're just sort of coming in. So we'll just leave it where it is, and I'll give you another countdown, and we'll unpause, and we'll keep watching. Okay, everybody?
Woo.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah, Dennis McCarthy did the music.
I'm at about 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, if anybody's wondering about a timestamp, yeah.
We just met Miles.
Yeah. Pardon the mess. I kind of live out of my space station.
Ooh, nice.
Thank you.
No, not you.
Oh, never mind.
Miles. Just the way he gets interrupted and he just takes a breath and I just like this bare and like the camera's not really on him, but it's nice.
He's used to everybody on the Enterprise ignoring him, so
It's just like, oh, no, this is familiar. I'm liking his ear danglies. Got some of my own. Whiny. He's an adolescent. Oh, no.
do not embarrass me in front of Chief O'Brien.
Just like we were camping. With your overalls and your fishing pole.
Yeah.
So apparently Jake does not die anytime soon.
No.
Given all the comments about baby Jake. And
no, Jake goes the distance.
I sense a confrontation. No, 255 AD. He's really not. Trust me. Jake is not that bad. Oh my goodness. I could tell you some stories.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You won't have to. I'll give it to you anyway. Oh, sweetie, honey, no. Man, you're shit at your job.
I was talking.
Yeah, nobody cares. Furtis, I certainly hope not. Picard is not who you want to be fleeing with right now. They go RUNNOFT.
Oh no, it's the cops.
I've got captions on. Quizzical whimper. That's fun. Oh.
Stand by to pause, everybody.
Wow, don't you sound very, very captainy?
3, 2, 1, pause. And I was going to see if I could find a time code, but Netflix is difficult about that. So, but anyway, okay. But if you did 3, 2, 1 pause when I said pause, you'll probably be okay. When it comes back up, it's the beauty shot of the Enterprise docked at Deep Space Nine. That's where we'll pick up when I say play again. So, Dana, I'm dying to hear.
Holy shnikes, 255 AD. The actor for the kid was like 30?
Oh, for Nog, yeah. For Nog, for the little guy, yeah.
That's an amazing baby face. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I know generally what you'll say, but I'm dying to know your first impressions of Major Akira.
She is not very diplomatic at all. She's, and part of it is I don't know where Major ranks. I mean, obviously she's an officer. Something that made me cute. She's Bajoran, right?
Yes.
How do they age?
They seem to age normally. They seem to age like humans do. I don't think they're supposed to be like long-lived like Vulcans.
So she talks about 60 years ago, but that's not something she would have experienced. It's something that she would have heard about from people who had lived through it.
Right. Well, but we find this out later, but I think we find this out in this episode, but she lived through part of it. There was a military occupation on Bajor by the Cardassians that lasted for decades.
She says that's in reference to that. She says the Cardassians said the same thing 60 years ago. She wasn't around for that.
Right. So yeah, she's going by
part of the occupation, but not for the negotiations and things like that led to them being occupied.
She wasn't there for the beginning of it. Yeah. Right.
That's what I was talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, she seems to get I don't want to say gets irritated really easily. I don't know. How old is she? Like 30 in this?
I think she's supposed to be late 20s at this point.
I can kind of see that because she's
mid to late 20s.
She hasn't got her chill yet.
No.
I mean,
definitely. She never really does. She never quite chills out, but
I mean, I don't know. I've just kind of like I said, well, like I said about, I'm not just gonna, I will absolutely tell you exactly what I think.
Right.
But again, some of this is because I am an English teacher and I do work with, how we phrase things, and I teach writing. So I'm judicious with my word choice. And
Absolutely.
Kira is not. Good night opinions no one cares about. I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry. Good night opinions no one cares about. Yeah. So yeah.
Is she emotionally damaged, beautifulest one? And again, some of that is because Cisco seems to be very much more controlled, which is interesting because you were talking about how the some of this was to show this is not next generation, but
right.
I mean, Picard is very much kind of not chill necessarily, but in control of himself, and we see the same thing from Cisco, and we don't see that from Kira. She does not appear to be in control of herself, and that's not a good that is not a good skill to lack as a leader.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I also want to point out that Kira is not a member of Starfleet, and that's not that big of a deal, except that Deep Space Nine was the first Star Trek show to have multiple major, like, regular cast members who were not members of Starfleet.
I'm just talking in a general sense.
Yeah. Well, but
I think that even as a leader of a rebel fighting group, you need to be able to inspire your followers with confidence. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Da, 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 da. Yeah, things are going to go wrong. There are things that we are not prepared for. We are going to be ready to deal with those as they come up. We have to be light on our feet, but you have to be that bedrock.
I cannot wait to take this journey with you and see how you respond to Kira's character development, because as we go, especially in this first season, as we go a little deeper into this first season, some of the best episodes of this first season are Kira episodes. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you think of those and seeing what you think of her as we go further than just this episode. By the way, for people,
I have my tea too.
And by the way, for people,
Earl Grey though, it's black and rose.
For people watching on Netflix, somebody asked for a time code earlier. It does give you the remaining time code. So I am at 1:14:52 remaining. So if anybody wants to try and sync up exactly, that's where I'm at when I pause, 1:14:52. One last question, and then we will go back into it. What about, did you have any impressions? You didn't really see a whole lot of him, but of Odo, the shapeshifter, who was like the chief of security on the promenade. Any thoughts about him?
Not really. He is a shapeshifter, and I was like, okay, I'll kind of accept the little thing, but man, that mace was very gently tossed in his general direction. There was like, I mean, I almost want it to be like, him to sort of lean to the side and let it go flying past him and be like, look, you realize I can do this, right? just saying, that was completely pointless. And it's like, it's only in there to show you, by the way, he's a shapeshifter.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Just like, okay, I'm going to let that one slide, you guys. We're introducing a character.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, everybody get ready. And like I said, if you want an exact time, we're just coming back from the commercial break after.
I'm going to say, I really strongly disagree with people who are saying that, she's a fighter and she's not diplomatic. I'm like, no, you still need that sort of level head. You especially need that level head as a fighter. So no, I just disagree strongly. But I phrased that disagreement in a very diplomatic way, which is why I'm not like Kira.
You would be so much better than Kira.
Significantly more sass and yet more self-control. I'm quite happy with that. So here we go.
I want to get you a T-shirt that says "significantly more sass."
And then on the back, and yet with some modicum of self-control.
With some modicum of self-control. Okay, so everybody get ready to unpause once again. The time code I'm at is 1:14:52, or 1:14:52 remaining. If you're watching on Netflix, so everybody get ready to unpause.
On my count.
I want to make a Riker joke, but I won't.
Oh, come on, go for it.
It's from Lower Decks. Give me warp in the factor of 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, everybody get ready to what?
I mean, diplomacy is telling someone to go to hell in such a way that they look forward to the journey.
There you go. By the way, Vovacat, thank you for the super chat earlier. I didn't mention that, but I saw the super chat in the live chat.
Is this one of our charity things?
This is not. No, I'm keeping all the money for this.
Money.
I'm keeping all this money. But thank you, Vovacat, for the. Okay, everybody, get ready to unpause in 3, 2, 1, play.
Woohoo! I already said that once. It's okay.
Welcome to Bajor.
I don't like your
Oh.
barely adequate. Oh, they're like an Aris.
Oh, yeah. From that book that we're doing a live stream about on Friday. Because you killed my wife.
Because you put me in one that was very not ideal. Yeah, it ain't like she's the only one who died. Rambler Johnny. Oh, nice little, very faint head wiggle there.
I could have handled that better.
But yeah, that's also, well, there was another one. I wonder how often this, they've started trailing off by this point, but every time it's like,
boy, I killed a lot of people. Oh, well.
unpacked. Don't we got a universal translator or something? I love his smile there.
Yeah.
Not his. Cisco's.
Cisco's, yeah.
You,
Totally.
Quark. He knows when to hold them.
Yes. He knows when to walk away and when to
And
run.
this is it.
You don't count your gold-pressed latinum while you're sitting at the Dabo table.
Odo's kind of stuck on that. Hmm.
What a boss. He dirties his hands just the tiniest little bit, and he's like, see?
Exactly. See, I'm smudged. I've got 108.37 left.
Yeah, that's about right. That's what I have. Well, 108.30 now.
Yes, but you said that after I did, so there.
Let's not fight.
Civil War. You know, the one you brushed off, dumbass.
No, different person.
Because, yeah, he mentioned the prophets, plural.
Right.
They're not going to be
Right.
the same. That's really pretty.
Yeah. Sorry I'm late. I was in the can. He's been teleported to Baywatch.
Mark, no, if you notice, they're down towards the water's edge, so they're walking on the wet sand, which is going to be cooler.
I think he likes her.
Yeah, but are you any good at cooking?
Well, that was fun.
Squeak 22, I agree. It's a quest marker. Carrie, yeah, we have about an hour left.
Yeah. Don't you talk about my paw. Okay, everybody get ready to pause. 3, 2, 1, pause. And I paused on Netflix. It says I have 59.48 remaining. So for people who want a time code. So.
She closes the little door first, Charles.
You have to close the little door.
Very important.
Yes. So a lot happened in that segment. First of all, what are your thoughts on that scene between Cisco and Picard?
I thought that was handled really well. Um, Somebody mentioned that in the military you don't sit down until you're invited to sit down, and I'm like, that's the fact that he chose to do that.
Yeah,
I mean, is that's a story detail. He just like, I'm going to sit down
absolutely.
because um, that was just it was well acted on both of their parts. Um, it is, I guess, a little surprising that like nobody briefed Picard that this dude is like, hey, he was here, and be ready for this. I mean, I
That's
guess
that's a really good point. I've never even thought of that. But yeah, you'd think he would want a warning.
yeah, Picard's the kind of fella who likes to be prepared. Not that he can't, manage,
Yeah.
but
By the way, you killed his wife. Oh, okay. Thanks for the heads
no,
up.
CL 66. I disagree. I think that was they had to be very careful about doing it, but I mean it's very much in there to show that it is deliberately putting Cisco on equal footing with Picard. It is there to say to say, look at it's like when you introduce the new fighter by having him beat up the champ. It's like, oh, look
Yeah.
how bad he is. He beat up this guy. The same sort of thing, but the fact that it's able to be written in such a way that the scene comes off believably, that works. That it's helpful, and Cisco does not come across as a Mary Sue for it. And that's they took that risk writing that scene,
Yeah.
having him go toe to toe with Picard, who's very well established, a wonderful actor as well. So
Well, and what I love about it is it's a little bit of what CL0626 said. By this point in TNG, this is when DS9 premiered, it was halfway through season 6 of TNG. So Captain Picard at that point is basically the king of Star Trek. He has been accepted by the
yes,
fan base. Everybody loves Picard. Everybody loves Patrick Stewart. He's he's the man. So it's a
yeah,
really, really gutsy choice, I
yeah,
think.
and it could have
To Yeah,
backfired terribly.
it could have backfired. Yeah, no, it
I'm
didn't.
sure there were fanboys who were just not happy with it. I am more
Well,
with
yeah.
where was it? How can you be with Hasbin than with 255 AD? No, I'm like I don't care. I don't care that you couldn't control yourself. It does not matter to me in the least that it was not your fault.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cisco's reaction to Picard is completely reasonable, I think, given the circumstances. He lost his wife. He doesn't have to be he's having a visceral emotional response. Like he's in the same room as the guy who was in charge of the ship that blew up his ship and killed his wife. I
Yeah,
mean,
and I have issues with the earlier scene that we had when he has to be forced to leave her, and I'm like, first of all, we've seen that you're pretty chill. I mean, that not just chill in the sense of, oh, it doesn't matter, but chill in the sense of, this is what I have to do. I'm going to do what I have to do.
yeah.
And he's very self-controlled, much like Picard in that manner. Um, his character, that the scene is too early. His character hasn't been well established enough, and then they don't build up to see that break of control because we haven't established it well enough. We also don't see it. We don't see it snap. It's just, oh, Jennifer, and then he's like ignoring his son. His son, and
Well,
I'm
but
like that. No, mm-mm.
but I mean, because we have just met him. I mean, I feel
Because
like
we have just met him. That no. Mm-mm.
well, but it's telling, but it's
I
telling you.
realize we're moving. They chose
Go
to
ahead.
move it that quickly, and I think that was a poor choice. We
Okay.
needed to see there needed to be some sort of break there from his normal, but it just goes into, oh no, he is very upset. We don't see him attempting to maintain control and losing it, and that should have been in that scene.
Right.
It wasn't. And again, like I also think it didn't extend long enough to see him regaining control, and also remembering that his son needs him. Also,
Yeah.
you're like, nobody told him that. Like, come on, that's going to work on this guy. Your son needs you. You have to leave her because your son needs you. I mean, that would have got him
That's
out
a
of there
good
a lot
point.
faster.
That could have that may have been a good beat to sort of add to the scene.
Who's the one who comes in there after him? Is it somebody that we see later, or is it just some schmo?
No, I don't even remember. I'm not even sure if they establish a name for him. But no, he's not someone who comes back.
Okay, so maybe
No,
it's
he's not
somebody who
someone who comes
doesn't. They just don't know that would. But yeah, the writers could have chosen to have that be part of the scene. Somebody who knows the commander. No, he's a captain at that point, I guess.
Well, no, Cisco is in that scene. He was a lieutenant commander. Now he's a commander.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I meant. Anyway, somebody who knows him and can say, she's gone. Your son's not. He needs you.
Right.
That would have been great. One thing that I was curious about was Cisco's invitation to Quark.
Yes.
Really interesting.
I was going to ask you about that, so this is good.
We haven't seen much interaction between them, and I'm like, what made him choose that approach? Like, there's minimal in-story justification for it. What makes him think that Quark is going to have that sort of that Quark has that kind of conscience? I don't know that we've seen.
Oh, I see. You mean like that he would even care that his nephew was
going to serve out a bunch of time in prison?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was just Cisco playing a card that he hoped he had. I mean, maybe he didn't know. He was just taking a shot. He thought he had some leverage.
There are better shots to take. For example, the fact that these people are down on their luck and they're tired and they are going to spend money at your establishment. They need the chance to relax, and you can provide that. You are, and we will allow you to do that. These people need entertainment. They need diversion. That is something that will help their society grow and thrive. They need you. You need them. You could benefit from this financially. I mean, it makes much more sense.
That would be a good,
with their principles. And I just feel like if we'd had, if they'd had him a little bit more, if we'd seen that Cisco saw, Quark had reacted more to the kid. What's the kid's name?
Nog.
To Nog being taken.
Yeah.
And then pulled back from it. I mean, Quark hides that reaction because that's not appropriate in his society, and or it's a tell as well. It shows something that can be used against him. But Cisco's the only one who picks up on it, and then he does use it against him later on.
Yeah.
So, but they didn't do that. But they should have.
We need to invent a time machine and send you back to 1993 so you can do a final pass on the script.
I know. Yeah, but Charles says maybe he's hoping that Quark is more Federation than Ferengi, which is great, but why would he hope that? I mean, not why would he hope that, but why would he have any reason to think that,
Right.
I mean, again, he doesn't hope blindly. For all that Kira talks about Cisco getting his hands dirty, she's wearing a really cute tank top, and it's white.
And not dirty.
I mean, I guess maybe they have better detergents than we do.
It's future Scotch Guard.
I guess, and then the cute little cutouts on the front and back.
Yeah,
but not too low.
No.
Oh no, it's modest.
But a little decorative, Just a little decorative. What did you think about Cisco's orb experience, where he was transported to the beach there?
I was wondering why they chose not to translate Pa.
Oh, that's interesting. Again, that's a detail that it just never...
Because then she uses a synonym for it. She says, our life force. I'm like,
right.
So does it? Clearly, it has to mean something beyond that.
Yeah. Well, Star Trek does handle that very inconsistently throughout, though. I mean, because the conceit of the shows is that the characters all have universal translators, and that's how they can understand each other. And that's why, even though they're all aliens who speak different languages, they can talk. But, yet, yeah, there are like certain words that are not translated. And I guess if people want to know, like, or are thinking about, trying to explain it, I guess the headcanon would be that it's incredibly intuitive technology. And it just knows that, no, this will be better if we don't translate this.
Yeah, let's just
If
not go there. But then there's also the associated meanings, which is something that I am going to be bringing up strongly when we talk about the dispossessed on Friday.
Oh boy.
Because Le Guin talks about, one word in particular that I'm going to talk about this because it's also relevant politically right now. So I'm really excited about that. But there's also she talks about the relative importance of things and how on Urish, that you've got height comparisons, like something is higher or lower in or importance, whereas in Irish they would talk about something being more central. And so the words translate, but the meaning shifts depending on, the cultural associations. And so I think also then there's also the sense that when the universal translator chooses not to translate something, it's because this is something that is important, like names.
Right.
Names are important and are therefore not translated. Some Random Geek, you got a couple of days. It's not long. It's like 25 pages.
Yeah, you have until Friday.
So yeah, oh my gosh, it's such a good book. It's such a good book. So I was thinking about that, but I sort of had my own ideas. I hope we get to see more about, the Bajoran belief system. Mm-hmm. And, obviously there's some sort of power behind it. So that's pretty interesting. Ursula K. Le Guin's The Dispossessed. And we're going to talk about chapter 1 on Friday. Right. Also something that's not brought up, that's not addressed. It's brought up, but not addressed. Who were the lemonades originally for?
Yeah, presumably he was meeting people, or he was on his way.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I know. They just get ditched. They're like waiting for their drinks and nothing.
And what I want to know is that the way it originally went down? Like, did his friends in his real life, did they just not get their lemonades then too? Because they definitely didn't get them in the one that we saw. I mean,
so my thought, if I were Cisco, I would, and there's this girl, I'm like, she's kind of cute. And she's like, hey, you want a lemonade? And sit and talk for a little while. She sips the lemonade, and I'm like, well, my friends are over here. You want to come join us? Bring her over with the friends. He's there with 2 friends. Give them the 2 lemonades. And then she's essentially got my lemonade, and she says, what happened to yours? And he's like, don't worry. It was worth it. I'd be great at picking up girls.
Okay. Any other thoughts on that segment, or?
Caitlin, that's really interesting. She says the universal translator seems to leave swears untranslated in general, which of course allows them to get away with a lot. Yeah. But I have a lot of feelings about what words I did. So 1066, Battle of Hastings, our swear words usually come from Anglo-Saxon, which is why you can say excrement, and it's not offensive in the least.
Ah, yes.
And you can say fornication, and it sounds, classy. But you use the words with Saxon origins.
Yeah.
Those are the common vulgar words, and so that's where our curses come from. And so but it also allows them to get away with having the swears in there and not have to worry about getting bleeped by the censors.
Exactly.
Sweet 222. He had no friends.
I saw that. Yeah, he was just picking up chicks.
He got 3 lemonades.
Hey,
clearly he's very optimistic.
Who wants a lemonade? Come and get them.
Hey, hey guys.
Look who's got lemonade.
He has lemonade when they're at the beach. Get a cold beer. But I mean, it's you're not trying to get her drunk. You know,
Right.
it's a friendly drink, and you save the schmoozing for a little while later. Well, can I get you something else? Is there something else you'd like? And then you gives her the chance to say, well, I could really go for a mojito.
Yeah. Would you like a Mike's Hard Lemonade, perhaps? Keeping it classy, you know, keeping it classy.
And there's just so many possibilities of where you could go with that take the class even further.
Which is why you would say that in the first place. Crossing your fingers mentally, going, come on.
Oh, so Far Beyond the Stars, I'm guessing, is an episode title?
Yes, much
and
later.
The use of an actual slur in that episode.
Oh, yes. Yes, there is. Yes,
Okay,
yes,
well,
there
no
is.
spoilers.
Yes.
There's a party the night before. Maybe they're all hungover. Dude, if they're hungover, they ain't going to be at the beach. Did you see that sunlight? No, that ain't happening. They staying inside with the shades drawn.
Hey, everybody, let's go to the beach.
Where it's hot and bright. And
with our heads throbbing.
People are, jogging down, laughing loudly.
Yeah.
Forget that.
No.
That's all I had from my notes.
Awesome.
Yes, I take because I'm terrified of dead air.
Oh no, it's great.
We don't have anything to say. Sorry, guys.
This is great. This is great. Okay, everybody, get ready to unpause, and we'll continue. And once again, for people who need a time code,
no, I love that. I like to think that's how Cisco wished the meeting went, rather than what actually happened.
Oh wow, that's funny.
All right.
Okay. So, and if people who are looking for a time code, again, I'm at 59:48 remaining on Netflix. So I'll give you a couple seconds to get there if you're not there already. 59:48 remaining. And we are going to unpause in 3, 2, 1, play.
Another beauty shot. Ooh.
Oh yeah, you need those.
Pretty.
Don't be creepy, Dad. Oh, thank God, everybody's drinking and gambling.
Azalea, we've just gotten to the promenade. I like that jacket.
Quark is a fashion plate.
It really is.
Who, me?
I'm not liking the buttons though, not too much. But I like the cropped jacket and the.
Yeah.
I miss the underboob.
think it was one of the Dabo girls in the bar.
Oh.
Just wait.
Please tell me she punches him.
Not quite.
Oh. I don't know. See, this is where I would be like, oh, what did you mean? just keep digging. Real salt of the earth kind, I'm sure. Man, I would. She was way nicer to him than I would have been. There's a Kaylee moment right there. That's Simon. Oh my God, that's Simon. Upside down. Boy, you turned me inside out. Yes, exactly, Keith.
Two hours.
That is a very convenient orb.
It's the backstory orb.
Pretty much.
It's the orb of exposition. Right into your pouch. There you go. That's weird. That was only a few months ago for me.
Jeff C, no spoilers. They're called pockets, Random Geek. This is a great body. Yes, but does it have pockets? It has pockets. $255.80. We're asking more of them. We have higher expectations.
Neeler, yes, O'Brien's on the Enterprise. He has a favorite transporter room.
He's a nerd. Are they gonna hug like Bruce and Dick?
They're gonna kiss.
Like Bruce and Dick.
Like Bruce and Dick. You know what I'm saying? Haven't written that one yet. You know, Mr. O'Brien, you still owe me that $45.
Okay, Sean Connery.
No. I don't know why you're ending on me. It's not my series.
Yeah, but he's the moneymaker.
Everybody get ready to pause.
Establishing the series. We need as much Picard in here as possible.
Dana, get ready to pause. 3, 2, 1, pause. Okay. We'll just leave it there. Nothing's happening yet. And for people who just paused with me, I'm on Netflix. I am at 50-30 remaining. So that's where we'll pick up when we unpause. 50-30 remaining. Okay, so what do you think of, let's start with Dr. Bashir. What do you think of Dr. Bashir? First impressions.
Oh, man. I could have some fun with him.
Yeah.
I would make him cry.
Just for the fun of it.
Just for the heck of it. Just for my own entertainment.
I do like, I mean, you said that if you had been in Kira's place, you would have been a lot harder on him.
Oh, yeah.
But I like that they at least wrote that scene and like had that conversation, you know, had Bashir be like, because I one of the things that I think the show does really well, especially in the earlier seasons, is it establishes that contrast between the Starfleet people and the Bajarans on the station. And that scene really gets at that, where, you know, Bashir he's Mr. Starfleet guy. And to him, this is the boondocks, you know, he's out in the frontier. But from Kira's perspective, it's like, what are you talking about? We're not, you think this is the sticks. This is where I'm from. This is not the sticks. Okay. You know, and I love that they
much of these parts, then you can't think much of them that choose to live here.
Right. Right.
You're going to understand that more later. Because there's, I mean, Firefly, apparently, I would not be surprised if Bashir influenced the characterization of Simon. Oh my God. Like, Simon isn't as stuck on himself, and I think, of course, that's because River's his younger sister. So, he's like, he's not as full of himself because he can't. She puts him in his place a lot, but you know, he's, you know, sort of this really smart, really good doctor, and he's with, you know, the frontiersy type people, and Rambling Johnny, not just missionary, but, you know, very paternalistic. Not quite colonial, but Squee 22, I agree on that, but that he sees it that, but you're saying Starfleet sees it that way, but I'm not entirely sure it's Starfleet that sees it that way. It's possible, especially since Picard is pushing so hard for the Bajorans to join the them.
The Federation, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Um, but yeah, he's Charles. Yeah, but I don't think it's to the extent that he's not. I wouldn't say that he's like not to the. He doesn't come across as. He comes across as accidentally pompous rather than just being like, what? Of course, I'm really great and I chose this because this was going to be a challenge for me. All of you, backwoods hicks, you're not going to have any medicine whatsoever. It's all going to be me. Jerk.
Yeah.
Would I say that Simon's very colonial? Simon seems very imperial. I mean, beyond colonial. Yeah. Hang on. It's bothering me.
Oh no.
There we go. Oh, and I'm really curious. So Jadzia says that they're a joined species.
Right.
Which is interesting. Because clearly the outer body is able to live without the inner body.
Yes. Not every Trill has a symbiont. Yes, there are unjoined Trills that live normal lives. And that is something. I mean, that is something that is explored throughout the rest of this series pretty extensively. Like Jadzia is one of the more developed characters, and specifically that part of her, that the joined species and what that means, is something that comes up again and again and again throughout the show. And it's really interesting. It's interesting for me as someone who has watched the show a lot. And I think to watch it with you, who has never seen it, because Bashir and Dax are two of the characters that probably change the most from their first appearance here through the rest of the series. Like they really change and grow in interesting ways. So it's fun for me to like look at. Oh, it's pilot episode Bashir,
I'm really curious about TPR Jones's question as well about the unjoined trills. But I think what came to mind as I was watching it was watching the previous host. What it's. I mean, because that's essentially a permanent change. Like that's it.
Yeah. Well, it's established. Yeah, exactly. It's established pretty firmly in an episode later in this first season that if a Trill is joined and then unjoined, at the unjoining, the human part, the humanoid part dies. Like the symbiont can be transferred to another host and survive, I guess, pretty much indefinitely. But the host, once it has been joined,
once the symbiote is removed.
Yeah, once the symbiote is removed, they die pretty within a matter of hours. Or in Curzon's case, I think Curzon was close to death anyway.
That's why they needed a new host.
That's why they switched. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's part of why Riker didn't die. And
right. And also Riker. I mean, Riker's episode was the first Trill episode, so they were just making up the concept.
But they go along.
Yeah, so it's not quite the same thing. But also, I don't think Riker had the symbiont for very long.
That was part of it. They needed to remove the symbiote before, especially because he wasn't Trill. That it just
Right.
but it's interesting because like they can live, you know, unjoined lives, but once they're joined, that's it. You can't go back.
Right, right.
So it's, I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And once you join, you become like an amalgamation of your pre-existing personality and the symbiote, or the symbiont. He's not. It's not. It's not Venom. It's not a symbiote. It's
Well, you said symbiote, so
symbiont. Symbiont. What's the difference? Any particular thoughts on the farewell scene between Picard and O'Brien in the transporter room?
Picard's just not the huggy type.
No. No.
Kind of sucks though. I mean, was it just a really abrupt departure? Or, I mean, I'm just like, because like when we've had people who've been with us for a while and they're, you know, going to a different school next year, or, you know, I mean, he's not retiring, but like we've had people
Yeah.
who transfer schools. And, you know, as a department, we get together. Now, maybe, you know, they're not in the same department, I think. Like he's engineering and not command.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe, you know, and I
But
guess
they do know each other.
you know, yeah, but at the same time, I could see like the engineering crew and his, you know, his sort of his inner circle, you know, having cake and ale and, you know, whatever it is that they do.
Yeah.
So, but not maybe not so much with Picard.
No. Yeah, I think with Picard, I guess it's more of like a professional respect thing. You know, it's like you've served me well, you know, and plus,
Yeah,
like,
that
I mean,
sounds like an asshole.
and O'Brien did play a small but crucial role in rescuing Picard from the Borg. So they might have we've never really seen that, but there might be like, you could presume that there's some kind of a bond between them because of that, because O'Brien was one of the people that helped free him from the Borg.
Yep.
So, all right. We have one segment left, and then we're going to stop for this show, and we'll come back to it later. So everybody get ready to unpause. Once again, the time code that I'm stopped at is on Netflix. It says 50 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. So that's more or less where we're at. So we will unpause and watch one more segment, and then that'll be it for this show. So here we go. Everybody get ready, and we'll unpause on play. 3, 2, 1, play.
The table.
On Cardassia, it's a desk.
Nice smile. The appropriate response is, I thank you for your kind offer.
I think I'm going to like him.
Michael, I think that's for lighting effects because they
Yeah,
have some of the lights that come through.
the smoke, yeah.
More of a haze. It's pretty even.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, like laser show type stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Andrew, she also has a computer. She says, computer, find the information. And it does. Da-da-da.
Yoink.
It's the future. Everyone wants Uggs.
Space Uggs.
I really want to know why YouTube flagged all Bajorans basically wear Uggs. I want to know why that was held for review. I really want to know. It's so offensive. Oh my
I know.
God.
How dare you say that?
Show some respect, people.
That's me pretty much. Okay. 3, 2, 1, pause. And that's all we're going to watch tonight, but we'll talk about it and then we'll talk to the chat for a little bit. But that's all of the episode that we're going to watch tonight. We'll come back in 2 weeks and watch the rest of it, because next week when we do this again, we're going to watch the first half of the first episode of Firefly. But so, okay, Dana, Gul Dukat, another major character introduction here. What did you think of Gul Dukat?
Obviously we're not supposed to like him.
No, we're not supposed to. Lots of people do, but we're not supposed to.
What do people like about him?
Well, I mean, I think people who like him, because I mean, I love him as a character, but you know, I don't like him as a person. I think the people that like him as a person
have problems.
Well, yeah, that's the real answer. But I think they're influenced by. We're supposed to be. That's part of what makes him dangerous. Is that he is? Oh, he's he's a charming, smart guy, and when you get further into the show and you see more of him, I mean, he is capable of like bravery and nobility in certain situations, but none of that changes the fact that he's evil. So, but anyway, well, what did you other than the fact that we're not supposed to like him, did you have any other thoughts about him?
Not really. He's I didn't see. I think he's one of the most diplomatic characters on the show. He does a good job of, both the character and the actor do a good job of what he's trying to accomplish, which is not of letting Cisco know where he stands.
Oh, yes.
Without doing anything that could actually get him in trouble. He uses, what he has at his disposal effectively. He's a very, unlike Akira, he's good at what he does. That's why the Bajoran struggled for so long, Kira. It's because of people like you.
Victim blaming. That's just outrageous. Any other thoughts on the bit we just watched?
They're going. I'm guessing. I'm not entirely sure what happened with the bar.
Oh, that was just a distraction to get them to get Odo in his shape as the bag onto the Cardassian ship. That was just like a pretext.
Okay, why did they want Odo on the Cardassian ship?
Oh, so he could disable the if there's a line that Cisco has with Dax where he says the Cardassians are all over the place, and they wanted to go out into the Denorius belt and investigate what Dax had discovered, but they didn't want the Cardassians to know they were going.
So Odo does something with their systems so that they can't track them. Right,
exactly. So they had to sneak Odo onto the ship. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Azalea Jane in the chat. This is shape-shifting is my bag, baby. Come on. That's nice. Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Carrie says Odo's got a brand new bag. Now here we go.
Odo is a brand new bag.
Odo is a brand new bag. Yes.
Is Odo's comm badge part of him? Well, apparently as much as his clothes are.
Here's the thing. Odo's comm badge is either not part of him, or he is such a good shapeshifter that he can shapeshift a working comm badge onto his uniform.
And clothes.
Yes. So, and Odo apparently, what the explanation for Odo's face is that he's not a good shapeshifter. I mean, or at least that he's not good at faces. So he's not good at faces, but he can create a working piece of technology. But no, I think that it's a real communicator, and Odo just hides it when he
Like
shapes.
in the gel.
Yeah, when he shifts into different shapes, I think he
What
just
about
hides
his
it somewhere.
clothes?
His clothes are part of him.
Okay.
Yeah, his clothes are part of him.
But you think the communicator's not? That's just too intricate.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but I think it's if you're looking for, like, if you're trying to find like a logical explanation for it, I think it has to be an actual communicator. I don't think he could just make one
So
like every time.
it's definitely established that the faces are difficult for him. Like he says that.
Yes, he says that
See, I just don't like that. I want him to say, "What? I like this. I like this look.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think. I'm still at 264. I looked.
Oh yeah. We haven't. Yeah. No other states have been called. Well, that's okay. We'll probably be. I think they said it'll still be a little while before Nevada's count is officially done, and Pennsylvania could be another day or two, maybe. I mean, so. Mm-hmm. But we're in good shape. Fingers crossed. Any final thoughts about the first half of the episode, just overall, before we wrap up?
I don't know. I like it all right. Not really keen on the whole fridge the wife bit.
No, that's a trope that yeah, it's not great.
Aw, 255 AD. No, well, yeah. We'll let you know where we're starting from in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll tell you.
You'll come back next week for Firefly.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, and we'll tell you when I'll have it set up, you know.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be so. You guys don't know how bad I am about like quotable stuff. I mean, you may have picked up on it from the fact that I've thrown a few Firefly quotes in here, and he doesn't know, except for the fact that I then say it's a Firefly quote, and you're not going to get it. So, yeah, I enjoyed. Let's see. I don't think there are any characters that I was just like, you're boring or anything like that.
That's good.
Jake was whiny, but not in an inappropriate way. I don't want to be here. This sucks.
Right.
You know.
Well, and I mean, for Star Trek fans, I mean, I guess you could complain about Jake, you know, if you really wanted, but I mean, Jake compared to first season Wesley, like no comparison. Like,
really?
Wesley in the first season, Wesley is. I don't think Wesley's as bad as a lot of Trekkies think he is. Like I never like hated Wesley, but he is kind of insufferable in a lot of episodes, and I don't think Jake ever gets anywhere near that. Like Jake actually is. I think Jake ends up being one of the better characters on the show.
How old is Jake supposed to be here?
I think he's supposed to be about 13, 14, somewhere in there. I think they establish it definitively a little bit later. I think he's supposed to be about 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess part of it is yeah, 252, I would agree. I would agree on that. Wesley does come across as very full of himself, but not with, again, more like Simon, not without reason.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a child prodigy. I mean,
yeah, and he doesn't have a younger sister who like leaves him in the freaking dust. What service is Firefly streamed on?
I'm going to watch it on Hulu.
Okay. I think
yeah.
I'm going to be pulling it up on. I think we've got it on Plex.
Right, you have your own copy of it. Yeah, I'm going to be watching it on Hulu. So for people who want to watch along with this, it's not as widely available as Star Trek. I mean, the Star Trek shows are on multiple platforms, but I think Firefly is on Hulu, so that's where I'm going to watch it.
So yeah, well, and part of it is I'm looking at Jake through the eyes of somebody who sees kids of that age like all the time,
Yeah.
like all the time, and so it's not so much that he's whiny; it's the way that he whines. His whining comes across as too young because I was thinking he was supposed to be like 12.
Right. And that's a common problem, I think, when writing child
I mean,
characters.
some of it is they may not know who they're going to be able to get, who they're going to be able to cast, and so they may be
That's,
writing
yeah,
kind of flexibly too.
that's a good point.
So,
That's a good point.
Tristan, I'm not sure that works. I think he needs to be streaming through, and I need to be watching. We'll have to
Right.
try that and cue it up because we have to be careful about. I have to turn my volume like way down,
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
sound comes through.
Yeah,
And
Tristan,
so,
if we were doing it where it wasn't an issue whether or not what we were watching went over the live stream, then we could totally do that. But I have to be able to isolate the audio from
to
what I'm
not get
watching so that
sued.
to not get strikes on my channel and get my channel taken down. They don't sue you. They just nuke your channel and they say sorry.
Do they say that? Really?
They don't say sorry.
I was going to say because
They
they
say
probably not.
they send you an email saying your channel has been nuked. There's nothing you can do. So
You open the email and it
Yeah.
has this low voice.
it auto plays. Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's
But
over.
Caroline, we still see you, and I'm so glad you're here.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes, Caroline is back. Shh, nobody tell anybody.
Don't help. I'm wearing them, and I also still had to turn my volume down.
Yeah. I think part of that is because your earbuds have a mic on the wire, which is great because you sound great, but
Oh, thank you.
it also I think it catches it picks up the audio from the actual earbuds too, so.
Not to me, you're not. I saw through that disguise. So, well,
I think that's it.
I guess so.
So, we will be back. Dana and I will be doing another live stream together on Friday, where we will be talking about the first chapter of Ursula Le Guin's The Dispossessed, and that will be a regular series alternating on Fridays with Ask Away until we get through the book. And so come watch for that.
I'm so excited.
Come watch for that. And again, and just like Deep Space Nine is a show that Dana has never seen, The Dispossessed is a book that I have never read. So I will be reading it for the first time, and we'll be talking about it.
Not on the air, but this is his first read through.
Yeah.
You finished the chapter, right?
Yeah, we will have already read it, and we're going to talk about it. Right, exactly. We're not
Probably
gonna,
got like
read
a
it.
day and a half.
It's not that long of a chapter.
We're only doing the first chapter.
We're
It's
only-
like 20 pages.
Yeah. So we're doing that on Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, like usual, and then we'll be back a week from today, next Wednesday, again at 6 Eastern, to continue Trek Reluctantly by watching the first half of the pilot of Firefly.
Which is
So-
not a trek. And I don't know, are you reluctant about it?
Not really, but let's go with it.
Sure. Why not?
Caroline, the book is The Dispossessed. Yeah, and I'm not reluctant, but you came up with the title, and I love the title, so let's go with the title.
You're blaming me. I see.
Did it sound like I was placing blame when I said I love the title?
So why it's called Trek Reluctantly? Because we sort of played off of Trek Actually.
Right.
And I said originally we were going to do a show that I hadn't seen and a show that you hadn't seen, and
Yeah.
so we're like, what if we don't like it, and we're not sure about this, and so I was just like, I'm like, okay, you really like this, I'll give it a go. So I'm the reluctant part of Trek Reluctantly. There is still some ambivalence on my part.
We're only half of an episode in, so hopefully that for your sake, so that you won't completely hate it.
All I am committing to is season 1. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. We there have yeah. We're gonna watch the whole show, Dana. We're gonna be doing this every week for 7 years.
So maybe not. The world may end before then.
Oh, there you go. Bless your heart. There's that Dana optimism that I love so.
Firefly. Now, see, Firefly gleefully, if we're going to call it that, there would have to be singing. And I think those of us who have seen Firefly, all know exactly which song we're thinking of and which episode it comes from. So
I can't wait to watch enough to get that reference.
one of my favorite episodes, probably my second favorite episode. Well, Jeff, I didn't know. I was like, you know what? I don't have, haven't watched it before, so I don't know if I'm gonna want to be, So
Yeah.
Firefly, I have a lot. Oh, Random Geek, I'll be really interested to see your take on what we think about Firefly. I have all kinds of thoughts.
Michael, no, I have not watched Firefly. I watched the first couple of episodes years ago, and I have pretty much completely forgotten. So essentially, no, I have never watched it. Yeah.
Robert Mills, we will probably be able to do Serenity, especially if we split it up, because God knows DS9 went on for quite a while longer than Firefly did. Which...
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do.
Yes, exactly.
We'll do Serenity because I think because obviously, Firefly has far fewer episodes than DS9. So even if we do end up just doing season 1 of DS9, even if we get to the end of season 1 and Dana's just like, nope, not doing anymore, we're still going to need
the Firefly and the movie.
Yeah, we're still going to need to do something else after we get through Firefly. So, and
we'll have to take a look at the movie. Ooh, yeah, so we'll have to take a look at the movie and see where a good stopping point in the middle.
Oh, for sure. We'll have to actually do some. We'll have to look ahead a little bit and be like, okay, where would be a good place to stop?
TPR Jones, we're doing it in intended order. So we're starting with the actual pilot, half of it. Yeah. Caroline, I'm a teacher. I got grading to do. And also just general de-stressing and oh my God, I'm not ready for tomorrow.
So, thank you all for watching. I guess we should wrap this up.
Yeah. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. Yeah, we've been here for 2 hours.
Yeah, this is great. So I'm glad that most of you seem like you were able to watch along with us and at least follow what we were saying and seem to have gotten something out of it. A lot of people watched, which is great. We'll be back next week to do this for the first half of the first episode of Firefly. And don't forget this Friday for the first chapter of The Dispossessed, our little, Dana and Steve's book club. And
teacher triumphant. Woohoo!
Yay! All right, thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Yay!
Have a good night.
Bye.